Hello, in today's video we are going to be looking at something that I'm quite interested in trying out. So this is the Neo by Lytmi HDMI Sync Box and lighting kits. So as you can tell by the illustration on the front, this appears to be some backlighting for the TV that matches what's on screen. Now, Philips Hue do something very similar to this. They do a sync box and they do light strips that are specifically designed to go on the back of your TV, but they are very expensive. The sync box alone is about £200, and then you need the hub, which is about £40. Then you actually need the light strips themselves, which are around about the £150 mark. So it's not a cheap activity getting lights behind your TV on the Philips Hue ecosystem, but this is a cheaper alternative from the nice people at Lytmi. Now, this does retail for around about the £90 to the £150. What I'll do is I'll put a link to the best price in the description of this video so you can see for yourself, but this is a lot cheaper than the Hue Light Sync box and their lighting strips for behind the TV. So does being cheaper mean that it's rubbish? I don't know. I've not even tested this yet, and that's what I'm going to do with you here in this video today. So first of all, we'll start off by getting this out of the box, having a quick look around, maybe plugging it in, and then we'll move on to mounting it on the television, that one over there. Depending on how interested you are in this, you can skip to the bit you're interested in. I'll make sure there's some chapters in the description of this video. And while I've got your attention, please do subscribe to this channel. I think around 90% of viewers of this channel aren't actually subscribed. And if you could subscribe just by hitting that subscribe button, it's free, you can help boost this channel's growth. So I really would appreciate that. So what I think is good about the Neo from Lytmi is the fact that it actually connects into the HDMI socket, and basically that can then see what's on the screen and therefore change the lights at the edge of the screen to match that color. Now, there are sort of boxes out there that do similar things, but they use a camera that basically sits in front of the screen, and then the camera then has to work out what's at the edge and then send the signal to a box like this and then try and work it all out. And that just feels a little bit sketchy, especially if something blocks the camera, for example. So yeah, this just plugs straight into the video output and matches what it sees on the screen. So it should give you a very quick and accurate representation of the colours around the edge of the screen through the lights. It is a bit like the ambilight that is on that TV at the moment, but this will cover all four sides. Now, I suppose the only downside to that is a lot of smart TVs have apps and things on them. So that's got Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, but because the signal for those won't be passing through an HDMI port, they're just sort of on the TV, then the lighting on this wouldn't work for those apps. They just wouldn't do anything. But this only works for stuff you've got plugged in via HDMI. And as I said, there's only one HDMI input on the back. So you either need some kind of switch device or an AV receiver like I've got to switch, so it's only coming out through one output and then into the input on there. I think that makes sense. Anyway, let's get this out of the box. So yeah, for disclosure, I've been sent this by Lytmi. I haven't received any payment apart from this. So is this sponsored? I don't really know, but I will make sure it's marked as paid promotion because they have paid me in product. Now, before we go too deep into the box, it's worth showing you this. This setup can actually work on TVs up to 120 inches. That is mental. So it comes in three flavors. You've got a kit for less than 65-inch televisions, a kit for 66 to 90-inch televisions, and then the kit for 91 to 120-inch televisions. But I think that's like a 50-inch TV or 55-inch TV, so I've got the less than 65-inch kit here. Yeah. And something else I've spotted on the box is that it supports HDMI 1.4b. So that means it will work with 4K signals, but only up to 30 frames a second. So if you're wanting to use this for really high-end gaming, like 120 Hertz, this won't work, but it's cheap. You can't expect it to do everything. Right, well, now we've had a little bit of the techie jargon, let's get it out of the box. So what do we have? We have got the Neo by Lytmi user manual. We'll have a little flick through that in a mo. Okay, so this is the actual box itself. There we go. We'll have a better look at that in a second. Let's get the rest of the stuff out of the box. So we've got an HDMI cable included. Looks to be about 1 meter or so. And then we have got a UK power adapter. Now, depending on the territory in which you buy these, they do come with adapters suitable for your country. I'm in the UK, so we've got a UK one. So this is rated at 12 volts at 4 amps. So it's not particularly low power that you could power this box from a USB socket on your TV, which would have been awesome and saved on a bit of wiring around the television. So that's a bit of a shame, but you know, it obviously needs more power. And then what's underneath the foam? Okay. It looks like we've got some sticky pads to put these around the television. Aha, look. And we've also got some corner pieces, which I guess use with the sticky pads to stick it on the side of the television. And yeah, it looks like the light strip can clip in to those. Cool. So we've got 4 of those. Okay, so you've got 2 slightly different designs. You've got one with a sort of curved up lip and one without. Interesting. Okay, they're marked A and B. So the B pieces have the curved up lip and the A ones don't. Oh, I think I understand. Right, okay. It'll all become clear when we look at the instructions, I think. And then what do we have? Okay, so let's take that out. So we've got 2 lots of light strips. Now I think how it works is you have one light strip going across the top and down the side of the television, and then the other light strip going along the bottom and up the other side, I think. Okay, so let's unravel it slightly. So it's terminated in a USB-A connector, and there we have the LEDs tape. So it looks like you can actually cut it every 3 LEDs, which is... Oh, and I've noticed there is 3M adhesive tape on the back of it as well. Well worth noting. So let's have a little look at the sync box itself. Okay, so there it is. So there are 3 little LEDs on the front there. One seems to be for power, one seems to be for colour. I guess that's when you've got the LED strips plugged in, and the other is a sort of Wi-Fi symbol, so I guess that shows when it's connected to the Wi-Fi. Now on the front here, it seems to have some sort of microphone, so that might work with sort of sound sync. It could be able to sync to the music. And what do we have on the back here? Let's have a look. So we've got an HDMI output, which would go towards the telly. We've got an HDMI input, so it's only got one HDMI input. So unless you've got things plugged in through like an AV receiver, which I have, or a switch thing, you can only plug in one HDMI item at a time. And then we have got a USB-C A port for the light strips that say, one says side, one says bottom. And then we've got the DC jack just there. And then we've got a little reset button here. So I guess we should have a little look at the manual, because I want to get this set up correctly. So it actually shows you where you use the A and B corner pieces and where to put them on your television. So that is super handy. That makes a lot more sense. And I've just noticed it says mode indicator. So that is probably what that color palette LED means. Red, it means it's in sync mode. Green, it means it's in music mode. And blue means it's in fun mode. Woo. So what I'm going to quickly do is just plug it in and just see what happens as is. Now apparently these are waterproof to IP65. That seems mad. Why would you have your TV outside? I guess what I might do is install the software app and connect it to this, and then we can put it all on the telly. It'd be nice to show you it working. Oh, okay, there we go. It seems to be doing something. Very natty. Okay, I think there's a QR code for the app on the box. Let me just scan it. There we go, there's the QR code. Let's give it a scan with my phone. Right, so you should hopefully see my phone screen. Let's get this app downloaded and see if we can get it doing something. So as well as having the iPhone app, there is an Android app as well that you can get from the Google Play Store. This is obviously me looking at it on the iOS app, but you know, hopefully it's pretty similar. Okay, so let's open. Right, it's asking to use my location. That's fine. Allow while using the app. We'll agree. You have to register for everything these days, don't you? There we go. So it's asking if it can use the Bluetooth. It uses Bluetooth to create the initial connection, so we'll do that. Yep, we'll let you use Bluetooth. So let's add new device. Okay, so home name, Kip's house, save. Cool, right. So now can we add it? Aha, add Neo. Now this only supports 2.4 gigahertz networks. It doesn't support 5G networks. So it's already found my network. So now it's trying to find the device. I shall have tea. What this is doing, if you like my kind of videos, then you can join my channel, and joining is like a step up from subscribing. And basically joining the channel gets you some extra perks. You can join from just 99p a month, and I'd really appreciate it. It helps fund these kind of videos. It seems to be taking its sweet old time. Oh, hang on. That light's flashing quite aggressively now. You see that? It's going wild. Finish, there we go, add success. And there it is. So can we turn it on? Please complete the lamp setting first. Okay, so we've got to tell it if it's a light strip or a light post. It is a light strip. Oh, okay, so this is where we denote whether we've got a left or right sided setup. We don't have a setup at the moment, so it doesn't really matter. Will this react to the sound of my voice? Yes, it does! Okay, so it's definitely working and creating quite the myriad of colours. Yeah, that is cool. I like that. Okay. So we can also change these setups. This is ball apparently. This is fire. Ah, let the ceremony commence. Okay. I mean, it seems to be all right, really. You can change the brightness of the lights, and you can turn them off and on again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the telly onto the table and install these light strips. I don't think I'm going to go for a proper full-on installation with the clips and everything, because basically we're moving house and I'm not entirely sure where these light strips are going to end up. They'll probably end up on the telly that I'm going to have in my studio, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So rather than start cutting all the lights and sticking all the stuff on, I'm just going to do it sort of like as a temporary fix, just so we can get an idea of how this all works. So let's have a little shuffle around, get the TV on the table and get this all set up. Right, okay, so I've moved the TV off the TV bench and onto the table, and I've worked out that the HDMI Sync Box is going to be sort of around about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an A bracket there, a B bracket there, an A bracket here, and a B bracket down there. So I've got the sticky pads, I've got the brackets, let's get them stuck on. Now this TV does have ambilight built in already, but obviously for fairness, I will turn the ambilight off when I'm showing it all to you. Okay, so we've got all the brackets installed around. The TV is slightly curved. It's not an entirely flat surface for them to mount on, but it seems to have gone okay, and the adhesive and the brackets have gone around the curves quite nicely. But yeah, it's stuck on quite well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give the glue a little bit of time to go off, have a cup of tea, and then come back and install the lights. Okay, well, some time has passed and the glue on here seems okay, so I guess it's time to put the light strips into the brackets. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there is adhesive on the back of the light strips, but because I'm not 100% sure that the light strips are going to end up on the back of this television, I'm not going to stick it down with that adhesive. So they might be a little bit saggy. So yeah, we need to start routing the lights from this bottom corner here. Now the light strips have got 2.35 meters of light strips on one roll. So that should be more than enough to go around this TV. Now, as I said, I'm not entirely sure whether this light strip is going to stay on this TV, so I don't really want to cut it. We'll just see how much is left over, I guess. So let's get it installed. So there we go, that's one side done. It's not really sagging, it's okay actually, and there's not all that much tape left over, so I might give it the old snip snip. So once again, we'll start with the bottom corner to that bottom corner and move our way around. All the brackets have little clips to hold the cable tightly and snugly in place. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, just to make it nice and neat and tidy, is just give it the snip. It is sagging a tiny bit at the bottom here. I might just get some tape to hold it for now. But yeah, I might as well just give it a cut in the corners. I don't imagine I'm going to get a TV much bigger than this anytime soon. So it can be cut on the contacts, the copper. So let's do that. Well, there we go. It's all sort of fitted around the TV. As I say, it's not stuck down properly, but it's stuck down enough to give us an idea of how this all works. So I've got to put this back over there. So back in a second. Okay, so it's all set up and it seems to be working. I did have a bit of trouble getting a signal through to the television, and it seemed to not like my Sky Q being in 4K. So I plugged my Sky Q back in, set it down to 1080p, and yeah, it started working. The picture signal came through, so that's good. Now you could use an HDMI splitter, which would take the signal straight through to the TV in one direction, and then in the other direction take the signal through to the Neo Light Sync box, and that might work a bit better, but obviously I don't have that, so I can't try it. But that seems to be a sort of method people have used online to get it working as it should do. But it looks okay for the moment, and it seems to behave quite nicely. Wonder what happens when I turn the Xbox on. Shall we give it a go? Let's do that. Well, there we go. It seems to be pulsing the green around quite nicely. I'll tell you what, let's just jump into a game quickly and see how it looks during gameplay. Now, something I've noticed different to the Ambilight, when the Ambilight is showing black on the screen, the Ambilight lights display a sort of white colour. On the Neo, it just seems to kill the colour completely, which is actually pretty cool. I like that. So let's just jump into a very quick game of Nuketown Halloween. We could maybe try some colour shifting videos on YouTube and like see if there's a colour wheel or something to see it properly in action. It does seem to be responding quite well. I'm quite pleased with how it looks actually. Now the only unfortunate thing I've noticed, which we do have with the Ambilight, it reflects in the picture frame of the picture above the TV. But when we move, we're actually not having it near a picture, so it doesn't really matter. Right, let's see how this works. Yeah, the fact that you're only playing at 30 frames a second is a bit annoying. You can definitely see the change in frame rate from normal. But I mean, it's doing the job. It seems to be working. Okay. Let's not do any more of that. So let's go on YouTube and look for a color wheel or something like that and see how it looks. Okay, 10 hours of disco lights. This could be really good. There we go. This is a really good test of it, isn't it? Now I think it would probably work better if your TV was mounted onto the wall. There's a bit of space between my TV and the wall, probably about 20 centimeters or so I'd say, but it does seem to be doing the job quite well. Aha, this is an ambilight color test, so this should be perfect. Okay, so this is like a proper test now, where it's spinning the colours around the screen. That is pretty smart, I like that. There we go, we've got all the colours now. Okay, I like that. That gives you a really good indication of how well it's working, and it does seem to be working very well. Okay, so let's have some final thoughts on this product. It's really easy to set up, it's really easy to use the app on the phone. So out of the box as it is, it seems fantastic for sort of enhancing your TV viewing experience. But I think if you're a pro gamer or something like that, then you might need to go for the Philips Hue Light Sync Box and the lights that go with it, because this just doesn't work very nicely for playing games at anything above 30 frames per second. If you just watch TV and films, then this is really perfect for it. It does the job. So should you buy one of these? If you're using it for gaming, probably not. But if you're just using it to watch TV and films, then absolutely. It's a cheap and cheerful way of getting an ambilight experience on a budget. So yeah, I think that's a good summary of this product. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a like and subscribe. But for now, it's game over.